Welcome everyone to today's checkup for the upcoming Gigantamax Butterfree debut. We'll be discussing the various counters for taking on this brand new Gigantamax Pokemon at length, their strengths, their weaknesses, and generally what to power up on these Pokemon to best utilize your Stardust and Max Particles. If you're new here, my name is Antarcticuno, otherwise known as the Dynamax Doctor, and I make videos discussing the finer details and mechanics for Dynamax battles. So if that is of interest to you, please consider subscribing down below to stay up to date with the latest news and analysis. As always, here's a brief disclaimer about the damage calculation formula I use. While this formula is what Pokemon Go uses for its damage calculations, I'll be making some simplifications to attack and defense since I can't know your specific level, IVs, etc., and instead we'll just be using the base attack and defense of your Pokemon and the boss Pokemon respectively. Let's talk a bit about Butterfree. As with any Gigantamax Pokemon, there will certainly be a niche for this bug-type Pokemon. It is the only bug-type attacking Gigantamax Pokemon with Gmax Befuddle, after all. Butterfree also possesses a slightly higher attack stat than Lapras, which is good enough for the right matchup. Butterfree double resists Grass, Ground, and Fighting-type attacks, and has normal resistance to bug attacks. This will make it a great counter for Pokemon like Rillaboom that currently do not possess much coverage outside of the types that Butterfree resists well. This is about where the positives end though. Butterfree has a double weakness to Rock, and a normal weakness to Electric, Fire, Flying, and Ice moves, which are admittedly pretty common coverage options for Pokemon. Its stats leave much to be desired, lacking enough to be an effective tank or healer outside of very specific scenarios where its type resistances can allow it more survivability. This does have a positive side though. This means that Butterfree should be a relatively straightforward Gigantamax Pokemon to take down. Many of the counters we'll discuss later on in the video will deal massive damage to it, and the tanks for Butterfree will be able to shrug off its attacks rather easily as well. Shown on screen is a triple Venn diagram representing the roles for attackers, tanks, and healers, with each Pokemon we'll plan on discussing placed in rough accordance to their best role. Attackers want to power up max attacks, defenders max guard, and healers max spirit. This isn't to say, of course, that you cannot try to push a Pokemon like Lapras further into the attacking role, but that its healing abilities exceed its damaging ones. Let's dive in. Starting off with Cinderace, this is the best attacker for Gigantamax Butterfree. It's also an accessible option given the fact that Scorbunny candy is plentiful. You can catch Scorbunny in the wild, hatch it from eggs, or just generally farm it from power spots. Normally, Cinderace would fall a bit short on the frail side, but given Butterfree's measly attack, this shouldn't really be an issue. If you have a Gmax Cinderace, Tackle is preferred since it is a 0.5 second cooldown move. Otherwise, use Fire Spin for Max Flare if using a Dynamax Cinderace. Charizard is a second-tier attacker for Butterfree. What allows it to stand apart from other attackers though is its type-afforded bulk. Double resistance to bug attacks allows Charizard to survive longer than most other attackers. For fast attacks, Dragon Breath is a great fast attack for Gmax Charizard, but requires an elite fast TM. Otherwise, Fire Spin or Air Slash will be required, especially so for Dynamax Charizard. Toxtricity is a second-tier attacker due to its electric Gmax Stun Shock attack. It's a good thing too, because that's all you'll really want to be using Toxtricity for. Despite its resistance to bug-type moves, it sports a weakness to Psychic, which will be appearing about 2/3 of the time, leading it to be more of a glass cannon pick. Generally, this will be a good option for you if you don't have enough candy for powering up other attackers or have a soft spot for this punk rock Pokemon. Darmanitan is a fantastic budget option for those without Gigantamax attackers. It wields a hefty attack stat, which, coupled with the same type attack bonus it receives on its Max Flare attack, allows it to hit harder than all other Fire-type Pokemon in the Dynamax power tier. Secondly, Darmanitan has easy access to candy through its availability in power spots or through eggs. This candy is extra valuable since Darmanitan also has the ability to use Max Spirit due to its high HP stat. Overall, Darmanitan can fulfill multiple roles and is a hard-hitting option for those looking to battle on a budget. The legendary Pokemon Moltres can be a great option for those willing to put in the effort. Moltres performs similarly to Charizard in that it resists bug attacks well, and even has the benefit of more bulk. Fire Spin and Wing Attack are equally good here, as they both receive same type attack bonus. The only thing keeping Moltres on the ground potentially is its availability, having only been released briefly in early 2025, as well as the need for massive quantities of candy. As a result, I foresee Moltres only being used by the most dedicated of fans. Zacian is one of the best tanks against Butterfree. It resists all of Butterfree's moves and has a great defense stat, despite looking like a purely offensive Pokemon. If you were able to raid Zacians during GoFest this year, and you have enough candy to power up its attacks, including Max Guard, this should be a no-brainer pick for your team. Zamazenta is another one of the best tanks for Butterfree, as it resists bug moves and takes neutral damage to psychic attacks. This is offset by its monstrous defense stat, thankfully. Remember that unlocking Max Guard also unlocks Zamazenta's unique ability to start the battle with a shield, which should last for some time if you can level up Max Guard to level 3. This also helps your team start the battle more aggressively, allowing teammates to bring in frail attackers while Zamazenta has a shield up. If you are able to raid Zamazentas during GoFest this year, and you have enough candy to power up its guard ability, this should be a no-brainer pick for your team. Corviknight is a great budget pick due to the Steel and Scales event bringing Rookedees back for wild spawns. As a tank, it resists all of Butterfree's attacks, and has a double resistance to bug moves to boot. Corviknight does possess an unreleased Gigantamax form though, so consider this when deciding whether to spend candy on this Dynamax Pokemon, or to wait for its Gigantamax form to debut. Shuckle is another accessible pick for a tank, with it showing up in power spots fairly regularly. Shuckle has great defense, which when applied to Max Guard shields, can make Shuckle a mean tank capable of drawing aggro throughout the whole battle. Its low stamina stat though means it's not surviving long without shields. One upside for Shuckle in this matchup though is that its best fast attack in Rock Throw has great coverage on Butterfree, being doubly super effective. Wailord is an interesting choice for Butterfree. It possesses the current strongest max Rockfall through the fast attack rollout. It also can drop massive heals via Max Spirit, its 347 stamina stat being a true blessing here. Like a balloon, however, its defense makes it take the most damage across all fully evolved Pokemon in the format. So, if you intend to use Wailord, try to use it as a healer or attacker only. Gigantamax Lapras is a great healer and a capable attacker as well. It has super effective ice coverage in Gmax Resonance, and its 277 stamina stat means that its max spirits can heal a decent amount. If you manage to catch a Gigantamax Lapras from the recent Water Festival Gigantamax Battle Day, this may be a good choice without breaking the bank candy-wise. Blissey is the best healer in the game. It has no weaknesses to Butterfree's attacks, and Butterfree is weak enough that Blissey takes minimal damage per attack. This means you can certainly use Blissey as a tank. Keep in mind though the distinction between damage sponging and tanking, as Blissey still isn't the best tank, but will function well enough if you invest fully into Max Guard. Snorlax is a great healer and less passive than Blissey. Similar to Blissey, in this matchup, Butterfree fails to do enough damage to fully break Snorlax's shields at Max Guard level 3, so you can use Snorlax as a tank. Keep in mind that Snorlax is still better at damage sponging than tanking, but in this case will work well enough if you're looking to have Snorlax fill the role. I hope you feel a bit more prepared for the upcoming debut for Gigantamax Butterfree. If you learned something or found anything surprising in today's video, please drop a comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe while you're at it. Till next time, friends.